This is an R Media podcast.
I think that forgiveness is one of the most important practices. I think that's something that I've actually even taught my boys. Like, it's important to forgive and make peace because there's so much freedom in forgiveness and peacemaking, and that creates so much more room for love and for growth and lifts the weight off your shoulders. Like, it takes way more energy to hold a grudge than it does to forgive.
Marie Claire presents You're Gonna Want to Hear This.
Hello and welcome back to You're Gonna Want to Hear This, a Marie Claire podcast. I'm your host, Georgie McCourt. Now, before we get into today's episode with Miranda Kerr, who needs very little introduction, I need to give you the backstory. Particularly if you're watching this on our YouTube channel and you're wondering why I'm sitting outside in the freezing cold. I have wanted to interview Miranda Kerr for months, and we finally managed to get a date in the diary. The only problem is that I have just moved into a new house and I still don't have internet. So for our 8 a.m. interview, I decided I'd drive to my mum's house and I would record it there. A very sensible plan until I arrived and discovered that the garage door was locked. There was no spare key and I could not get inside. So naturally, I interviewed one of the world's most famous supermodels, sitting outside in 2-degree weather, wearing a very thin cardigan, hoping that the Wi-Fi wouldn't crash. It was all a little bit stressful. But then the cockatoos arrived. My mum has apparently convinced every cockatoo in the Southern Highlands, where I live, that she runs some sort of all-you-can-eat bird cafe. So at one point, I had about 15 of them squawking around me while I was trying to have a calm, professional conversation with Miranda Kerr. Thankfully, Miranda was incredibly understanding. We got the interview done and Miranda was, as always, an absolute delight. I grew up seeing Miranda in the pages of Dolly magazine, the country girl who went on to become one of the world's most recognisable models in the world. Yet she remains so warm and grounded and down to earth. Today, she's the mother of 4 boys. She co-parents her eldest son with actor Orlando Bloom, and she shares 3 younger sons with her husband, Snapchat founder Evan Spiegel. In this conversation, Miranda speaks so openly about motherhood, family, business, and the life that she has built away from the runway. I really admire the passion and discipline that she has poured into building her beauty empire, KORA Organics. But I think what stayed with me most during this conversation was just how honest and vulnerable she was. This is a very personal conversation, and yes, there were tears. So if you hear a cockatoo squawking at any point during this conversation, I apologise. This is Miranda Kerr, and you're going to want to hear this. Okay, now I want to go back to when you were just 24.
Oh my gosh, now we have to remember, I'm 43.
You're 43. I mean, isn't that crazy? So you were 24 years old when you became a Victoria's Secret angel.
Time flies, I tell you.
What do you remember about that moment in your life? And like, how did it change the trajectory of your life almost overnight? Because I remember it was just such a big moment because you were like Australian, you were this supermodel, and there you were on the Victoria's Secret runway.
You know, it was quite surreal. I remember the first time, if we just rewind back to the first time I was ever in America, when I was 15, I did a student exchange program to Virginia, and my host family took me to my very first Victoria's Secret store. And I remember just thinking, wow, this is just incredible, because we had nothing like that in Australia. Like, the extent of like the kind of glamour, but girl next door, but like, all these, like a candy shop for women, really. It was just like, I could have never have imagined that I would be part of that. Fast forward, I don't know, 6 years later, 7 years later. So it was pretty surreal. And I remember one of the first shoots that I did was for the swimsuit catalog for Victoria's Secret. And they used to, have you travel to these beautiful places. And I remember seeing like Adriana Lima for the first time and Carolina Korkova, and I was just so blown away with their beauty. I was like, wow, what am I doing here? And I just thought, okay, just enjoy the ride and have fun with it. It's not something that's going to last forever, but this is pretty amazing to be here with these girls that you saw so many years ago on, on the walls of Victoria's Secret, and now you're here as one of them. It's pretty wild.
It's crazy how time has, like, that's, yeah, if we talk about 20 years, because I feel like I almost grew up with you, because when I was at school I was obviously a Dolly magazine reader, and you were on the cover and you're in the fashion shoots, and I think so many people, they have grown up with you and they've grown up alongside your journey.
Yes, they've grown up with me. Yes, because I
They
was
really have.
yeah, 30 years later, I'm still kicking on over here.
But I think it's so lovely because it's, we watched you those very early days when your career was taking off, and then just how your career has evolved and you've become a mother and an entrepreneur, and like there's just something so lovely about watching your journey evolve. And I almost think it gets better and better. How would you describe your journey? Do you think it gets better? Do you think it gets harder? Like, how would you describe it?
I just have enjoyed kind of every step of the way, like I remember traveling all over the world, and I was just so excited to experience different cultures, like living in Japan, and then I lived in Paris, and then I lived in Barcelona and lived in Milan. I was just like, I really was living out of my suitcase with these contracts that I had. And then I eventually kind of settled in New York, and I made my base New York, and then I would travel 6 to 7, like I'd be working 6 to 7 days a week and travel 2 different countries a week. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to enjoy it and make hay while the sun shines. And here I am all these years later, because I really never thought it would be a long-term job. Like I never thought it would. I just thought, you know what, this is something I need to enjoy while I can, and I appreciate it, and I'm, appreciating all of it, like collaborating with some of the best photographers and stylists and teams, and obviously, working with brands like Victoria's Secret. It brought so much visibility for me, and I feel like with that visibility, I got to have a voice, and with that voice, I got to do something I'm really passionate about. And so I'm really glad that I took my mum's advice and saved my money and created my own business. So I get to do something that, I'm really passionate about every day.
Why did you think it wouldn't be a long-term career? Why was that thought going on in your mind?
Oh, I mean, obviously modeling is kind of like, it's not really a long-term career, generally speaking. And now, here I am. I mean, I'm a lot more selective with what I do, but I'm still doing, cover shoots here and there, and working with obviously Michael Hill Jeweler,
and running your own beauty empire as well.
and then of course running my own beauty empire. But if it comes down to, I'm still doing the modeling, I guess that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
To a certain
absolutely.
extent. Yeah.
I want to talk about relationships, because you met Orlando Bloom at the height of both your careers. Looking back on that relationship, what were the biggest lessons, particularly around navigating love under such intense public and paparazzi scrutiny? Because that's a whole different game.
Yeah, I mean, that was like a whole whirlwind. And I remember meeting him backstage after one of the Victoria's Secret shows, actually, that was in Los Angeles. And being in the public eye, it obviously, adds a lot of pressure. It teaches you to just, maintain you want to maintain your privacy as much as you can, and which is kind of was challenging for me in a way, because I'm naturally an open book. And I love connecting with people, but it's interesting when your whole life is, being watched and people have opinions about it. But I really appreciate the privacy that I have now with my family, and Orlando and I will always, be family. We have Flynn together, as you know, and we're really close. Like we speak, every other day, and and everything's very harmonious. So I'm really grateful for that. I would say it would be really hard if we weren't close, because we have a very important child together. So.
Well, you've spoken about doing spiritual work after your separation, because peaceful co-parenting, like it doesn't necessarily happen easily, and for a lot of people they do need to do the work. What did that spiritual work look like for you?
Well, I think that forgiveness is most important. Oh, there's the bird.
It's a cockatoo. I'm just trying to bring the they're
Back
going.
to
I'm
Australia.
trying.
I love
I'm,
that.
I'm
I
trying to
feel
just bring some
oh
Australian culture to the interview.
yeah. Well, my pop had a cockatoo, and he also had a galah. So
Did he?
yeah, he did. And he used to go in like he had a huge um special like area for them and
Avery.
an aviary, and then he would walk in there and they would all go on his shoulder and
Oh my God,
talk to
that's
him.
beautiful.
Yeah, we were never allowed in there, but he had a very special bond with them all.
They were his
Um,
birds.
yeah. Oh, hello. See? There you go, saying hi. Oh, and you know what? With the collection that I did with Royal Albert, one of them has a cockatoo on there.
Cockatoo, see?
Yeah, he's trying to say like, "Hello, I'm here."
Well,
Mhm.
it's more that they know that like Miranda Kerr's on the phone and they're like, I'm not missing out on this.
It's okay. We see you. I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think going back to the question, I think that forgiveness is one of the most important practices, and
Mm.
it starts with like I think it's like a daily practice of forgiveness. It's almost like brushing your teeth. It's like, forgiving yourself first and foremost for anything that you may have done intentionally or unintentionally through thought, word, or action that may have hurt yourself or hurt anyone else, and then forgiving the other person for anything they've done intentionally or unintentionally that may have hurt you. And I think that's something that I've actually even taught my boys. Like, it's important to forgive and make peace because there's so much freedom in forgiveness and peacemaking, and that creates so much more room for love and for growth. And I think it's really important to make peace.
I think like the conflicts that I've had in my life, forgiveness is so important. And I don't think enough people understand how important forgiveness is. Even if you think you're right, which
Oh, yeah.
often there's no right or wrong. Like
Yeah.
people have different opinions. But I think like forgiving it's so freeing, I think.
Yeah. It almost like lifts, I feel like it is definitely something that lifts the weight off your shoulders. Like it takes
Mm,
way more energy to hold a grudge than it does to forgive.
it does. And life is too short.
It really is. Yeah.
Now, the next chapter of your life, I want to talk about Evan, because your
Yeah.
life was obviously already very full, and it's a, you know, finding love after you've already had a child with someone, and it's daunting and it's scary, but it's so exciting as well. What was different about that connection, and what do you remember about your first date?
So Evan and I met at a work event. I, had a contract with Louis Vuitton, and it was a dinner for Louis Vuitton that they were hosting in New York at the MoMA in
Mhm.
2014. And so
Mm.
I'd been separated with Orlando for about a year, and Evan and I were sat next to each other. He was on my right, and Glenda Bailey was on my left. And when I sat down and I was chatting with Evan and chatting with Glenda, Glenda leaned over and whispered in my ear, "You two are going to get married."
Oh
And
my gosh.
I was like, "What are you talking about, Glenda? Like, I've only just met this guy." And yeah, I mean, it was a very sweet story because his name is obviously Spiegel, and they had a name
Mm.
card. And one of my favorite songs ever is Spiegel, I'm Spiegel. And so I said to him, "Have you heard that song?" And he's like, "No, I've not heard that song." And I was like, "Okay, you have to listen to it. It's the most beautiful and instrumental piece. It's just like so deep and moving." And like, I was just like, that's just the most beautiful piece of music I've ever heard. So you really have to listen to it. So anyway, he ended up leaving that dinner early, and I said to Glenda, I was like, I don't know about getting married. He's already left the dinner,
Yeah.
And anyway, I was away. Then I had to travel. I was in Japan working. I thought about him and I was like, oh, whatever happened to that Spiegel guy? And I texted him and I was like, did you ever listen to the song? And he called me right away. But I was actually doing karaoke in Japan. And I was like, sorry, I can't take this call right now. I'm doing karaoke. And he was like, okay, well, maybe call tomorrow. And then I called him and then we ended up, bonding and talking over the phone for like a little bit. And then our first actual date was a yoga class with Guru Mukh,
Oh
and
my
it's
gosh.
yoga. And it was very sweet because she had come to town, especially, and I was super excited to go and meet her. And he was like, wow, can I come? And I was like, okay. And he's like, I've never done yoga before. And I was like, okay, well, you're in for a real thrill. Um, and I kind of arrived a little bit late, and he was at the front, and I was giggling, and because I like giggle when I'm nervous, and he was just like, "What is wrong with this girl?"
But I bet you were really good at yoga though, so you would have impressed him a lot with your yoga.
Yeah, so I was a gymnast when I was growing up. I loved being a gymnast, and then it naturally evolved to doing yoga when I moved to Sydney and I was 18 and loved doing yoga. And that's when I learned Kundalini yoga and meditation and all of that. And Evan, we used to do yoga every Sunday, but then our teacher during COVID moved away. So I need to get him back into it. But I also taught him, I introduced him to his meditation teacher, and, that's been really helpful practice for him too. And my boys each have their mantra as well, except for obviously the baby, he's too young. But my other three boys each have a mantra. And Flynn has been pretty consistently meditating with me, which is great.
That's incredible to actually get him. So he sits there and he will stay still and
Yeah.
do a meditation.
He's 15 and he sits with me. We both have our own mantra. And so I'll say to him, just, if there's any thoughts that come into your mind, just let them pass, focus on your mantra. And because I've been doing it now for quite a long time. And I'm like, I'll keep the time. So I put my timer on, and then the time goes so fast. It's just a really great way to connect with that deeper part of yourself. And it's like, I was introduced obviously to prayer through my grandma, and we used to pray a lot. And this is also like a way of me praying as well, even though I do pray as well, like in it, my meditation. It's a way of connecting with yourself and God. So
Do you meditate every single day?
it is definitely something that I really try not to miss.
Yeah.
It's something that I feel like if I haven't had that moment, that 20 minutes in the morning, I just feel like things don't like flow as seamlessly as they do when I take that time for myself, because it's like starting the day with that kind of clean slate. Really knowing, like, it's just like knowing that inside we're all like interconnected, and it's it's just really nice to have that moment of peace with yourself before the madness of the day starts, because then it's really hard. Like, I'm with the practice that I do, ideally I would meditate twice a day, but there's not time for that with 4 kids and a company. So I'm really grateful for that time in the morning at around between 5:30 that I get to do those 20 minutes of meditation.
More with Miranda in just a moment. With the madness of the day, because you have such a busy and full life, how do you handle when, those moments, and every woman and man feels them, where it's like, I'm overwhelmed, it's too much, I feel anxious, I just need to calm down, and like, how do you then sort of like just clear everything and clear your diary and bring down that overwhelm?
I think that obviously it's important to just like in those moments when you're feeling overwhelmed, the power of your breath is so, I think it's so undervalued.
Mm-hmm.
And just like taking a deep breath, going outside, putting your feet in the grass, and if you can, or going outside, and I often will like put my hands out and get the sun in the palms of my hands and try and visualize that light going through my whole body and taking like 4 breaths in and then 6 breaths out, and 4 breaths in and then 6 breaths out. Even just for a minute or two, it really helps reset any overwhelm that happens that's a normal part of life.
Breathing is so important, and I don't think the majority of us, myself included, breathe properly.
Have you read the book, Breathe?
No, but I've heard about it.
Yeah, same. Actually, I haven't read it either, but I really want to.
Yes, no, it's so important. Something else that can give us overwhelm is social media. You've got 4 boys, and I've got 2 girls who are 12 and 13, and I'm sort of navigating all of it at the moment. How do you think about children's privacy and social media in 2026?
Yeah, I mean, every family obviously navigates it differently. For us, we obviously, our 3 boys who are younger, we don't have to worry about it yet. But with Flynn, who's 15, he has a phone, he uses Snapchat, he doesn't have any other social media. But he uses Snapchat because it's a way for him to stay connected with his friends and family. That's the only way that they communicate with each other. They're all on Snap. And what I like about Snap is, it's not just because my husband started the company, but they've created these tools like the Keys, which is like an online safety course created by Snapchat. And you can watch it together. And it just kind of helps you kind of have these meaningful conversations about responsibility, about respect, about making thoughtful choices online. And I love the fact that, that's an opportunity to have a conversation, because I think ongoing communication is the most important thing with your children and obviously teenagers. Privacy for us is also really important. And I just feel like children deserve to, make mistakes and discover who they are without feeling like every part of their life is being shared or judged, which is why we've chosen to keep our children private. But I guess at the end of the day, we're all navigating this together, and I'm just trying to raise kind, grounded boys who feel supported and who know that they can come to me, no matter what. And yeah, and hopefully they'll be, hopefully they'll be good through it all, and obviously there'll be, ups and downs and mistakes, and that's all part of life. But just knowing that we're here for them, I think is important. And I'm sure you would feel the same with your daughters, just to know that you're there for them without judgment, but you're also there because, to guide them, in a way.
What do you miss the most that you couldn't have if you weren't famous? Like, is it privacy? Is it just like wanting to walk down the street and get like a juice without anyone recognizing you? Like, what do you miss the most?
I think so. I really love going to the supermarket. It's like one of my favorite things ever since I was a kid. It was like, I remember saying to my grandma when I was little, I was like, imagine if we won the lottery and then we could buy whatever we wanted in the supermarket. Like, wouldn't that be amazing? And she was like, yep, that would be amazing. One day, love, you can work hard and you'll have that experience, and I feel so blessed that I can go into the supermarket, and get to buy, so many things that I want. And I, and I love that experience. But I must say, the privacy aspect, it's fine. Like you just have to be aware that, there might be someone that comes up, and what's funny is like sometimes someone might just be videoing you from a distance because they're too shy to come up and take a photo. which is also fine. But at the same time, you might be in your own little world, like looking at an avocado, like, and you're like someone's like peeling out. You're like, whoa, hold on a second. But I just kind of like roll with it. But I mean, it would be nice to be able to go to the grocery store and not have to feel like I was being watched.
Yes. Do you feel, I mean, you must feel people watching you all the time when you're in public.
Yes. And sometimes, maybe if we're in a different country in a little tiny town in the middle of nowhere, we feel a little more, I don't know, that we don't have that. But I think, at the end of the day, it is part of it. And it's something that, you have to kind of make peace with, because it is part of my life, and it has enabled me to create my company. And it's, and at the end of the day, as I said, we're all interconnected, so kindness is what matters most.
It's so funny that you brought up the supermarket, because I remember going to the supermarket as a kid as well, and it was just, I don't know what it is about the supermarket. It was just so exciting, and just like getting little bits and pieces. It was just the best.
The best. I'm like, I love the supermarket.
So I know I still love it. It's just, yeah. And it's also like, now that, as a parent and as a mother, it's just nice to now like go and fill a fridge full of food for your kids. And
yes,
I think it brings a sense of security that not obviously everyone has.
The kids love it. Like my kids love going and getting, they're like, Mom, can we please get this? Or, so when you're in those little moments with your kids, and then someone's like, oh, can we get a photo? You're like, you kind of feel a little bit like, oh, yes, of course. But at the same time, like, I don't want my child to think something weird's happening,
I want to talk about female friendships, because they play such a huge role in our life. And I loved you celebrated your birthday recently, and it was so beautiful because you posted some photos on Instagram with all your female friends, and you clearly have these incredible women in your life. What kind of friend are you, and like, are your friendships low maintenance? I mean, you're so busy.
Yeah.
Tell me about the women in your life.
I'm really lucky and blessed to have an incredible, group of friends from all over the world. And I'm still in touch with 4 of my best friends from primary school. And we have this ongoing group chat where, like, one of my friends, she's a real cowgirl. And I get photos every day of the farm and her kids on the horses and them at a rodeo, and like, just like, it's a really wonderful way for us to stay in touch. Like, it's on the group chat with my other friends. And then my other friend just reached out to me the other day, and she was like, my daughter's got her formal coming up. I can't believe it. Do you like this dress or this dress? So we're all like giving, our feedback on the dress and it's kind of surreal to know that we have kids, at that age, but at the same time, it's just a fun way for us to all stay connected daily in a way that doesn't feel like there's any pressure. And literally, I get multiple messages a day on that chat, so that's pretty fun. And then they also come over, like, we try to see each other once a year, and then we'll like get together. So whether it's they come over here, we had like the Gunnedah girls, like I made them a t-shirt like Gunnedah girls something. And like when they arrived, I like put it on their bed with some KORA products. Gunnedah girls do Hollywood, yes. And then I had the whole agenda, and it was really fun. And actually, Evan is a helicopter pilot, and he took them on a helicopter over over past the Hollywood sign. So it was one of those like pinch me moments of like, this is a girl from Gunnedah, got her husband flying around.
Oh my God, yeah.
With her 4 best friends, and we were looking at each other all going like, what? Like, what? This is crazy. This is like something out of a movie.
It really is.
Yeah, it really is. I have to pinch myself all the time. And then I have some wonderful friends here, like, that actually are from Australia. And then some other, like 2 friends that are from Australia that live here in LA. And I feel so blessed that I've known them for over 20 years as well. So, to have these lifelong friendships is so important. And then I have a lot of other friends that are more recent, or friends that I've met through my children, because I'm sure you probably have that same, like, on your children. It's really great. Like, I made a best friend with another friend of mine that lives out here. And one of my best friends from New York kept saying, "You have to meet my best friend in Malibu." And at the time, I think Flynn was 2. And I was like, yeah, yeah, okay, okay. By the way, it coincidentally turned out that our kids went to the same primary school, and they became like best friends. And that's how we met. But my best friend in New York was like, "You have to meet my best friend in LA." Anyway, it all just was, it was perfect. And then, we became inseparable pretty much. Yep, it's really important to have those friendships that are like, you know, you're deeply committed to, but it's like you can obviously be busy with your family and your life. It's not high maintenance, it's more low maintenance and deeply committed.
How do you know that people are genuine? Because there would be a lot of people who would want to be friends with you. But as we know, like, not everyone in life is genuine, and they don't, how do you know? Is it just like, I imagine it's just an energy thing. You can feel someone's energy.
For sure, it just feels like you can like kind of naturally have this connection with someone. Like the first time I met my friend who I was telling you about in New York, we were, you know, in Paris together, and we just instantly hit it off, and we literally were inseparable since. And then her best friend, and she introduced me to here, the same thing happened. It was just like an energy that we knew that we could trust each other right away. And, you have so many laughs together, and you build that trust over time. And I think that's important, that, you have friendships that, you know, you can really rely on, and they rely on you, and you're there for each other. But at the same time, there's not like a pressure to be like, oh, you have to call me this time every day, or or that, because we all have kids. And actually, I do have some friends that don't have kids, but I have kids, and
Yes.
a lot, there's not that much time. So it's important that when you do see each other, it's kind of like pick up where you left off.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to see someone for like some of my best friends I don't see for a year, and we just literally like it's, and it's so special that you still have 4 best friends from primary school, because that's like, not everyone has that. That is like, that's such a beautiful thing.
I know. And when we were younger, we all had this ring made for for all of us, and it had the 5 little stars on it. It was like a silver ring with 5 little stars, and I think that everyone still has that ring to this day. But it's very sweet, and it had our initials on the inside.
Wow, it's really so special. Um, you've spoken about losing your first love at a young age, which would have shaped you so much. How did it shape the way that you approach love and life today?
Well, it just, it all happened so instantly, and
Mm.
I was at such a tender age. It was, completely heartbreaking. I remember
Yeah.
when I heard the news, and I was at a friend's house, and my uncle came to tell me the news. And I was like, "What do you mean? What do you mean?" Because like
Mm.
my whole world just like, it's like the doors like started closing, and I was like, "Why is that man out there mowing the lawn?" Like my whole world just like stopped, and it was so hard to kind of
Mm.
understand that life was still going on,
Mm.
when my whole world just like stopped at that moment. And I think it gives you such a deep appreciation for how precious life is, and how quickly
Mm.
anything can change, and I think
Mm.
it's important to just not take anyone for granted, because life is so fragile, and we never know when our turn is going to be next. So it's important to be present, and to tell people you love them, and appreciate
Mm.
those moments together, and be in the moment together.
Mm.
It's
Mm.
life can be so busy, but it's really the moments that we have with those that we love that are, the most rewarding.
Mm.
And so, I'm still close with his parents, and Flynn, when he passed away, I wrote a letter to him explaining that, my first son would, carry his name in some form. So I told Orlando that when I was pregnant with Flynn, and Orlando was like, yeah, of course you can name, you know, Flynn, like Flynn
Yeah.
Christopher. So it's Flynn Christopher, named after Chris. So yeah, I mean, life is, it's such a gift, and it's important to really enjoy it every day and not get too ahead of yourself, because why worry about something that hasn't happened yet? Like, it's important to kind of be in the moment and be with those that you love.
Coming up, Miranda shares a heartfelt moment about what she misses the most about living away from her mum. And I know earlier you mentioned pinch me moments, and it's so nice. Like, you clearly appreciate all the opportunities and experiences that you have and the life that you have, and it's nice that you do have those pinch me moments.
Oh my goodness, every day I'm like, what is going on? I'm still at in my heart, I'm a little country girl from Gunnedah, and I didn't grow up with much. I had very humble beginnings, but I grew up with a lot of love, obviously from my grandma and from my parents and my extended family. Like, we were all, my aunts and uncles and cousins, we were just all living together in Gunnedah, and that was so grounding for me, having that. And we didn't need much, and so that kind of puts that perspective in your mind that, yes, sure, the life I have now, I'm really super grateful for, and I have these pinch me moments, but at the end of the day, it's loving relationships that mean the most. And you know if this was all gone tomorrow, like, I know I would be okay, because I have those loving relationships. And that's really, at the end of the day, what is the most rewarding and the most fulfilling.
It is. You can have all the money in your world, and some people do.
Yeah.
But if you don't have loving relationships, like, what's the point? What's life?
Yeah.
Your mum, her cancer diagnosis was a turning point that ultimately led to KORA Organics, which feels like so long ago. Like, it's amazing how long ago it feels. But that moment, I want to know how it reshaped your priorities and also your sense of purpose, because you have such a strong sense of purpose and it comes through the KORA brand. And I also want to know about the role that your relationship with your mother has played in your life.
Yeah. So, I mean, I started KORA in 2006, and
Oh my gosh.
that's crazy to think.
That
That was the concept, 2006.
I still remember it. I remember when you came out. Like, I remember when it launched, and it feels like yesterday, but then it feels like a long, long time ago at the same time.
Long ago, yeah. I know, same. It's like watching a child grow.
Yes.
But I mean, the whole reason why I started KORA was because my mum was, my mum had tumors in her spleen. So as a family, we had to look at what we were putting in and on our bodies. And it just opened my eyes that skincare is your largest organ, and what we put on our skin sinks in. So it's definitely something that we can control. So I was talking with a friend and just saying, like, why aren't there brands out there that are making products that are actually certified organic and healthy and results driven? And she was like, why don't you just speak to my friend who's a chemist who makes certified organic essential oils, and then just take it from there. And then that's how the conversation started. And I originally created these products for myself and my family, and then we got incredible results. So I was like, I need to share this with the world. Like, this is amazing. They're detrimental. So it's like a threefold approach. And to me, it was a no-brainer. And I was like, how come no one else has really created this? This was long before clean beauty was a thing.
A long time before. I mean, now it's like we know all about it.
Yeah. I'm super close with my mum, and I feel like she really taught me so much about resilience and, being grounded. She's also very practical. She's a woman that can, like, basically do anything. She's like really good at, like, table tennis and awesome in the kitchen. And she's like, you know, one of the strongest women I know. And she's also very nurturing. And it's incredible also to see her as a grandma. And I don't want to like cry because I cried about it. Obviously, I miss her. But you know, oh, I wish she lived around the corner, you know. But we
Yeah,
spend
yeah.
like 6 months of the year with her. But my
Wow.
yeah, and my dad. And my boys just love them, my parents, so much. And but it, you know, my mom always taught me like if you're going to do something, do it with your whole heart or don't do it at all. And that's something that just is in my brain all day, every day. And so I'm gonna do something with my whole heart. Otherwise, there's no point in doing it. And yeah, and she's just very, as I said, she's very resilient. She taught me the importance of hard work, and there's no complaining. She just like gets in and gets it done. And even, you know, when she wasn't well, there was no complaining. Um, she just, you know, wanted to find a way and research and learn and figure it out. And that's why we got so into health and wellness. And that's kind of that's why I'm here with KORA.
It's so, your relationship with your family is so beautiful, and they've raised like such an incredibly like down to earth, because like the world you're in, you could get swept up in it, but you've just remained so down to earth. And I also, like, I had a close relationship with my nan, and I know you had such a beautiful relationship with your nan as well. And I think like, yeah, they sustain you for life, really.
Yeah, I mean, I was so close with my grandma. I would be in the kitchen with her because she was always in the kitchen cooking, but it was like an open kitchen where it was like a family room kitchen. So she got to do all of her baking while we were there. I mean, there's so many pictures of me as a kid. Like she was bathing me in the sink, and on the other side, she's peeling potatoes, and I'm just happily playing in the sink, you know, the water and whatnot. But she taught me so much about love and generosity of spirit and how to dress. And you know, she also would talk to me about like, you know, it's important to, you know, she's like, men are visual, you need to really put yourself together. I'm like, what are you talking about, Nan? He loves me. And she's like, put a little makeup on, love, like men are visual, you don't forget that. I'm like, I liked her honesty about that, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
um and it was such a nice, like that's my dad's mum, so it was so nice to have like the strong, resilient mother, and then the real kind of like homemaker with my grandmother, who was just generosity of spirit and also like quite cheeky. Like that's where I get a bit of my cheekiness from. Like it doesn't, people don't always see it unless they know me really well. But I, you know, there's like a mischievous side that my grandma has, like in a fun way, and I definitely have that too. Like we would just start laughing, and then we would like not be able to stop. And it would be over like the silliest thing. Like we didn't even know what we were laughing about, but it was funny to us, you know.
That's so special, and like how lovely that your children are now having such a special relationship with your parents as well.
Exactly. But my grandma, and I mean, my mom loves being a grandma, but my nan literally was such a good example of being a nan that it really makes me look forward to being a grandma. Like I'm like, oh, that would be so nice. Like being in
Yeah.
the kitchen and having the kids come, and then having the grandkids and the kids, and then like being that hub for everyone to come together. That's what I really hope that I become, and that sense of, you know, love and support, that everyone feels welcome and doors always open and you can always come to my house. I mean, I'm obviously like that now as well. I don't have to wait till I'm a grandma, but still, like the fact that, you know, she was just kind of focused on like being a homemaker was kind of, you know, that was nice for her, you know.
But you know the impact that, like, there's all these studies done around the impact that grandparents can have on their grandchildren, and it's such a big role. So I'm the same. I'm like, not that I want to like, you know, I'm enjoying the time right now, but I also really look forward to like that relationship is still to come. Like these little kids don't even exist if my children decide to have kids.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's wild to think about. It's kind of fun.
It is, because it's like there's hopefully so much living left to do, and like it's exciting, I think.
Yeah. And my mum and dad are at that stage now and just love being grandparents. And it's like, when my kids have jet lag, my mom's like, don't worry, they can come sleep in my room. I'm like, okay.
Here you go.
And then the next morning she was like, oh, he was so cute. He couldn't sleep. So I just read to him. Like, I was like, wow, good for you, Mom.
You're like, well, I got a full 8 hours.
I was like, yeah,
sleep.
I actually slept really well. Thanks to you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
I want to talk about your designs for Michael Hill, because the Armour collection is so beautiful. Tell me about the idea of love and connection, what it means to you personally at this stage in your life.
Well, when Michael Hill and I were talking about doing a collection, I was throwing a few ideas around. I said, but really what I want to do is like, my whole thing is about spreading love. Like even with KORA Organics, it's a labor of love, and all the products, not only are they good for your skin and results driven, but they're filtered through rose quartz, and that rose quartz is the crystal of love. So I like to do things very intentionally. So I was saying to Michael Hill, what if I designed like, a heart collection? It would be like from my heart to yours. And so that's kind of where it all started with the Amour collection, because, obviously my connection with Paris, I, have worked there, walked the runways, and had, such a great career there, walking, with Balenciaga and Chanel and Loewe and Stella McCartney and all those fun things. But also the fact that Pierre, my son, was conceived in Paris, and his name is French for Peter after my grandpa. That's also another reason why, it means a lot to call it the Amour collection. What I wanted is pieces that people can wear every day. So I'm wearing like the little huggies that are like in the shape of a heart, and then they have a little drop heart as well. And then I'm wearing the little necklace with the heart. And so I literally beautiful. Don't take these off. So I wear one on this side and two on this side, and you can sleep in them. So it's really nice to be able to just have something that's just like always on you and representative of love. Yeah, I just feel like love is just the most incredible, expansive emotion, and it's important to share it with everyone. And so this is just like a way for me to like spread my love and hopefully help other people, open their hearts and connect with each other when they like give it, someone gives you that gift. It's really special and meaningful, but then also maybe you want to give a gift to yourself. Like hopefully my husband's fine that I'm just wearing the jewelry that I created.
There is something special though about the heart motif. Like it's very special, and I like having two daughters. It's something that I could wear, but also they could wear as well. Exactly. Like it goes across multiple generations.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing, is that to me it doesn't feel like it's so little, like you don't really even know if it's a heart unless you like look really close. So it's like more meaningful and delicate, and the very fine chain, I wanted it. And this one was inspired by do you know Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, Elizabeth Taylor? Like that little, that tiny little so you don't really see the necklace, but you see the little diamond, and that's what this was inspired by. And what's great about it is it has like, you can change it to be a different length, so you can make this one longer or shorter depending on where you want it to sit. So then you can layer it with other pieces that you have. Like I have another actual long pendant that sometimes I wear with it. I don't know, I'm glad that people really are loving it, and I just love being creative. So like designing this jewelry, designing my teacups, as I said, like this is the Australiana collection. But then KORA is like my baby, that's like, that I not only design, but I own, and that's my whole business. But I do love doing other creative projects on the side as well.
Now, we are going to be offering our listeners 20% off KORA, which is so exciting. So I want to know, what is your favorite product right now? Like, if someone was listening, what's one product that you would say everyone will love?
Oh, that's so hard. It's like choosing a favorite child.
It depends on the day, though. I feel like I can choose a favorite child depending on different children's moods.
Yeah. Well, it depends, I guess, on how my skin's doing. No, I would just say that like it's the turmeric range is really special.
The turmeric range is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I love it.
The foaming cleanser is great for all skin types and all ages. And we sell one of these every 9 minutes, the turmeric foaming cleanser. And it's like a whole sensorial, invigorating experience with the peppermint essential oils and the Palo Santo, which is also clearing your energy. And at the same time, the turmeric for the brightening effect, it cleanses your skin, but without stripping it. And we also have a active algae cleansing balm, which is great if you're more of a balm girl, and milky mushroom gentle cleanser. But I reach for this one every morning, every night, because it just cleanses my skin like kind of quick and easy, and that whole sensorial experience is amazing. If people haven't tried the scrub, I think it's a must-have for anyone's beauty closet. It's like a quick flash. I wanted it to be like a microdermabrasion scrub, but also like almost could be like a glam glow mask that you could leave on and that dries, and then you feel all of the impurities coming out. So you have like as a 2-in-1. So it's like a brightening mask, but also a scrub. And I keep mine in the shower. I use it as a scrub. My husband uses it. My 15-year-old, son uses it. He actually is very obsessed with it, and his friends are. And my husband is obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with it. So
do they just want to come over, all of Flynn's friends, and have like a shower at your place because of all the products?
I did host a party at for like all of his friends at the end of the year, and I gave everyone little goodie bags of KORA, and that's when
oh my
they
gosh.
a little like
lucky them.
Yeah, so they loved it. And I think one product that like people don't know about as much in KORA is kind of like a secret, although when people know about it, they're obsessed, is the milky mushroom hydrating mask. Is incredible. It basically hydrates your skin and plumps your skin overnight. Like you use it as a sleeping mask. It's like, or you can use it as a quick flash, like hydration mask. That we have products for like so many different, like it depends on what you're looking for. And I'm obsessed with the body oil. Don't even get me started. So morning and night, I'm in that like body oil and that body lotion. It's just such a beautiful cocooning experience. And
body oil is such a nice sensory experience, isn't it? Like it just feels, it feels really nourishing and nurturing.
Yeah, and I didn't really fully understand how important it was until probably like the last, like, I guess 10 years I've been using it. And obviously throughout my pregnancy I used it, but now it's something that like I really look forward to, the body oil, just kind of like putting it in your joints. And I mean, I have it here. It just smells so good. And then you get the most beautiful glow, and then it, without it going on your clothes. So everything is like this sensorial experience where it's very intentional and supportive. And then on the back of every product, we have like a positive word like bliss or love or joy, just to kind of bring that uplifting energy into your day, because, we're all so busy. I wanted to create a little ritual for people to really lean into and just kind of enjoy and take care of themselves.
Beautiful. Now, my last question is, the name of this podcast is You're Going to Want to Hear This. So what is one message that you want every woman listening to hear?
I think the most important message that I feel right now is take time to really connect with yourself. And for me, that is where meditation and prayer comes in. and know that, you know, when you give that time to yourself and connect with yourself and your heart, that you can give so much more, you know, and listen to that intuition and honor that. And that's where, you know, your whole vitality can be nurtured, just by taking time to, you know, sit and be with yourself. Even if, you know, maybe you go outside and sit down and just take a moment for yourself, you know, put the phone down. And it's just about having those little moments, you know, because you can't pour from an empty cup, and these little simple things that you can take the time to give to yourself, then you can give so much more in all the other areas of your life. So yeah, listen to
Such
that
great
inner
advice.
voice and connect with yourself, and I think that's really important.
Oh, thank you so much, Miranda.
Oh, it's lovely to
It's
speak.
always it's so lovely to speak with you, and thank you for welcoming my cockatoo friends to our interview.
I think they were happy and content when they
Yeah.
came. It's amazing. As soon as we acknowledged them and said, okay, we acknowledge that you're here,
Yep.
thank you so much, then they
Yep.
felt heard.
Yep. And
That's
they've
a good
gone
lesson
now.
for us all.
Yeah.
And I think at the end of the day, everyone wants to be able to feel heard and understood and appreciated.
Absolutely. That's all anyone wants, right?
What people want in life. Yeah.
Yeah. Completely agree. Well, that was Miranda Kerr. I hope you loved that chat as much as I did. Something that really stuck with me was what Miranda said about the importance of loving relationships and how important they are in our lives. I also love that pinch me moment when she was flying over the Hollywood sign with her best friends from primary school. For more stories of style and substance from Marie Claire, make sure to follow You're Going to Want to Hear This on your favourite podcast app. And if you prefer to watch in high definition, you can subscribe to Marie Claire's YouTube channel. That way you will never miss an episode. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next week.